Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, and I would like to talk about 4 books that really did change the way I think. So the first book is Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. I think that's how you say his name. So this book, it was very insightful, and it mostly talks about the psychology of buying and how marketers persuade people. So you're probably thinking, why am I talking about this book? Why necessarily this book? So this changed my mindset on how I actually purchase things, and actually the thought process before I get to that decision. Am I buying it because I do want it, or am I buying it because someone's telling me? And the reason why I'm talking about that is because we often buy things or want to have things because we think we need them, because someone else has it and they seem like they're having an amazing life, or some adverts telling us you're going to feel this certain way if you buy this product. And my thought process is actually changed because of this book here. And funnily enough, it talks about one scenario that I'm ashamed to say did actually happen when I bought a car. There's a chapter in there where it talks about how a car dealership will have someone lined up directly after you've driven the car. That then gives you the urgency to get the car because somebody else behind you wants it. And that was actually implemented when I bought my car. I didn't think anything at the time, but at the time I thought I better snap it up now because someone behind me is going to take it. And that was a trick implemented on me, and it worked. So, read this book. It's a good read. My second book is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Now, I'm still around 3/4 of a way through this book, and it is fantastic. It talks about how people get bad habits, the reasons why people have bad habits, and how to actually get round out of bad habits. And I just wanted to go through some points which I think that you guys will like. One of the points I just wanted to go over with this book was the power habit loop. So it actually talks about why people get into habits, and it explains the reason why we do that habit again. So it talks about the cue. So often people have cues with habits in terms of their triggers. Then it talks about the routine of the habit. Then it talks about the reward of the habit. So the cue, which makes us think, right, okay, this is a habit subconsciously. This is all habits subconsciously. The routine, and then the reward. What do we get from that habit? And then it actually loops back. So I think this is very beneficial in order for you to actually realize what cues you have when you enter your bad habits, and why do you like them? What is the reward when you get into bad habits? For me personally, that would be something like eating too many sweets. So if I'm in a situation where I'm at work and I'm stressed out and I'm a bit hungry, automatically I cue for something. Well, I want something that's gonna give me a quick sugar rush, is going to make me feel awake and give me some sort of pleasure, which is the reward for that split second. So for me, I can go easily through a packet of Haribos, no problem. So that's just one area that I wanted to talk about, to highlight with this book. I haven't finished it yet, but I would highly recommend reading this book. It has loads of case studies where they talk about real situations. So you've probably heard about this guy. It's called Grant Cardone, and he's got a book out called The 10X Rule. So I just wanted to read out to you a few of the chapters and briefly go over what my insight was from those chapters. So one of the chapters he talks about is what is success, and he really pinpoints and makes you think, what does success mean to you? Some people, they think about success and they have this idealized vision of what it may be. Or they look at their friends and think, right, that must be success. But you need to think about yourself and what your situation is. What do you define as success? And he really pinpoints it in a really efficient manner here. Okay. Another chapter I'd like to talk about is there's no shortage of success. And what he explains here is that success is in abundance. Often people think that success is unobtainable. It's only for the few. Only a few people get that because they're lucky. No, it's down to where you are right now, and every decision you've taken to get to where you are now, it's because of you. And he defines success as in abundance. And I think this really helped me change my mindset into thinking, right, what do I want to achieve? And how can I get there? And it is achievable because it is an abundance. It's not just for the few. So that really did hit home for me. Let's look at another chapter. Right. Chapter number 9, 10x your goals. This was pivotal for me. 10x your goals. It sounds simple. If you think your goal is going to take you 1 week, times that by 10. Because things always take longer than you think. When you start something, it's beautiful at the start. It's fun. It's exciting. It's that 10th week. It's that 6th month stage. It's the year later stage. He's also got a bit where he talks about be uncomfortable. I'm going to read it out for you. It's so tempting to become content with your surroundings, daily rituals and habits, most of which are probably not furthering your mission. And I think this is amazing because it happened to me. Like sometimes you just get comfortable in your surroundings. You think everything is going to last forever. You're going to be on the same trajectory. You're going to be in that job and they're going to keep you all. You're going to be with that same partner, or you're always going to look the same in terms of your weight and your body build, but nothing ever lasts forever. People get comfortable. It's just human nature. We don't like change. And here he just talks about don't get comfortable. Always come out your comfort zones. He also talks about setting yourself unrealistic goals. Let me read this out to you. After all, who gets excited about so-called realistic goals? Sometimes you will say your goals, your dreams to your friends, your family, and they will tell you, no, stay in that job. Carry on doing what you've been doing. And people are saying this out of love. They don't want to see you get hurt. They don't want to see you fail. But the funny thing is, if you don't fail, you never know if you will ever get there. So that is just one part of 10xing your goals, where I thought that was so poignant. So I'll definitely give this book a thumbs up, and I would recommend anyone to read this book. My fourth book is a bit different, and it's called Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. And the reason why I bought this book is because you often get, let me relate this back to myself. Wait a second. I often got run down. I was never able to sleep properly. I was sleeping maybe 4 to 5 hours per night, and I thought, right, something needs to change. And it was due down to my lifestyle. So I thought to myself, I listened to this guy on a podcast. He's got a pretty good podcast. I'll pop a link in the description. And I think he's actually got a PhD. And he really talks about the nitty-gritty, the chemicals that cause you to think certain ways or to enable you to sleep better. And here he talks about 21 essential strategies to help you sleep. And now one of the tips he actually talks about here is probably quite simple, and it's having a caffeine curfew. And he talks about how caffeine has a 6-hour half-life. I think that's what you mentioned. And basically it's still in your system, half as effective 6 hours after you've drunk that particular drink. And he talks about how caffeine is great for having a jump start within the morning, but set yourself, let's say, after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right, that's my caffeine cutoff point. I'm not going to drink any more caffeine. For me, I love tea. I drink tea all day, every day. One other tip he talks about is how to value sleep. So often, more or not, people always say, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I'll sleep when I get old. But what he explains here is people really do not value sleep. And sleep is actually when your body actually restores itself. Or more often than not, especially people on the go, people with really demanding 9 to 5s, do not look after themselves, and they often take out sleep as one of those things that it can be left until an afterthought, basically. And it really got me to change my mindset in terms of valuing sleep. So one tip he talks about is setting a sleep sanctuary. The whole process before you actually get to bed. So this could be switching off your computer, not touching your phone 2 hours before you go to sleep, reading a book, taking the time out to actually switch off. He talks about how light emitted from computer screens and phones is called blue light, actually still keeps your brain awake when you're sleeping. You could be sleeping but you haven't hit that stage of deep sleep, which is called a REM sleep. So I would really do recommend reading this book. It's by Sean Stevenson, Sleep Smarter. I think there's any books that you've read that I could benefit from, pop a comment below. Please like this video, that lets me know that the content I'm producing that you guys like. And hopefully I'll see you guys in another video.